It's Tingle and go. It's Tingle and go. From 7 to 9, come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9, it's Tingle and go. What up, Lloyd? What up, Lloyd? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. They're trying to ball like Big Folk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and go. From 7 to 9, come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9, it's Tingle and go. It's Tingle and go. From 7 to 9, come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9, it's Tingle and go. What up, Lloyd? What up, Lloyd? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. They're trying to ball like Big Folk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and go. From 7 to 9, come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9, it's Tingle and go. It's Tingle and go. From 7 to 9, come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9, it's Tingle and go. What up, Lloyd? What up, Lloyd? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. They're trying to ball like Big Folk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and go. From 7 to 9, come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9, it's Tingle and go. It's Tingle and go. From 7 to 9, come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9, it's Tingle and go. What up, Lloyd? What up, Lloyd? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. They're trying to ball like Big Folk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and go. From 7 to 9, come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9, it's Tingle and go. check and shit out to them. Now trying to ball like big folk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back the time, Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9. Come keep with the show.
All right, good morning and welcome in here on this Friday. Does not feel like a Friday, but it is Friday as we are back in Baton Rouge.
I just realized it was Friday when you said that.
Yeah, no, yesterday felt like a Monday.
I don't think that's right. I don't think it's Friday.
Pretty sure it's Friday.
I don't know.
My phone says Friday.
My heart doesn't.
Fair enough. As Kinfolk has joined us
Kinfolk
once
is
again,
back.
he has returned. We have. It's
I
been
made it.
what over 2 weeks?
Yes, it has. Since I got a text back from my cousin. Piece of shit.
Well, there might be a reason for that.
It's been a long 2 weeks. The last time we saw Kinfolk and the last time Jonathan was in the studio with us was the Nerf Gate when the stream got.
He doesn't know about this.
He knows the stream got taken down because of the gun.
Yeah, my firearm.
He knows that
Demonetized.
the show that day, it has since been put back up.
So I'm not packing.
But we shortly found out after Jonathan. The next morning we came back in
Right before we go to Omaha.
our live streaming
And promised a bunch of people.
capabilities were taken away from us.
Oh no, I didn't know that part. No. Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
How quickly you get out of the loop? What the fuck?
Yeah, we came in Thursday morning and we were getting the show ready
This used to be America.
and prepared,
2A.
and it said live streaming not allowed.
Oh, if you wanted to see somebody panic, we all first we get the show planned. Like we're like, all right, this is actually going pretty good. Like
Right.
for us to be able to go to Omaha, get all the things together. And me and Noah are like, it usually doesn't go this smoothly. We come into the, was it a Thursday?
Yep, Thursday before we
It
left.
was Thursday, and I'm trying to go live. Over here, it says you like ability unavailable, and I was like, oh
Has
no.
a Nerf gun? No.
Yep.
And I was like, we can't tell Jonathan. He's already going. He's having a cathartic experience from being an absolute superstar now.
No, that was not the experience I was having. I was drowning in self-hatred for a number of reasons after
And
that
so-
show, and then also aware that I was going to miss all the fun with y'all going to Omaha.
Omaha.
Omaha, that's how I say it.
Yep.
And,
That's actually it's because they're Indian.
I would have probably hung myself had I known that happened.
Yeah. And so we're like, we won't tell him right now.
I would have walked
because
into the ocean and just not
he
come
just
back.
never came back. But we were like, oh, well, we can't go live after we had made several promises that we're going to do all of these live shows from the RV on the bus. We got Starlink, all these things. Like, actually, you can't do any of that. And so it's like, well, you know what? Let's save one thing for Jonathan on his return and tell him that you almost ruined the show with one appearance. Like,
You even
almost
waited to
killed
do
the
it
show.
till like we've been here for
30
We wanted to
minutes.
make
15
sure
minutes now.
we wanted to make sure we had eyes on you when we told you, so that you did not do anything completely out of hand, because it was a relatively big deal when it
No
happened.
one was not in a
like
good mood.
Thursday morning, I was like, I saw it and we looked into it and we're trying to figure out, and it says 9 months before you'll get it back.
What?
And then it said like 3 months, and it was
It's
7
not-
days.
Then it was 90 days.
And it
'Cause
was
of the
90
Nerf
And I
gun.
was like, time out.
Yeah,
we got to figure this out, because we can't go, like, much less a week without live streaming, because
We're
we're going
about
to
to be
Omaha.
on the road.
We can't go 90 days
This
after
is
the first
fucking
month.
blowing
We just
my
had we've
mind.
had the account for we just started the channel for a week. And it's like, actually, you can't go live for 6 months.
And so
I
finally
didn't
we
even like faux execute anyone with it.
And so finally we look in, we check it like 2 days later, and our capability had returned. So all was good in the world, all was right, and we were able to go live all throughout Omaha. Hallelujah. But it was a 48 hours of like, okay, we got to figure out how we're going to handle this.
It was definitely a quick 2 hours of.
Oh, the first
instead
2
of-
hours was a panic.
Oh
Panic.
my god!
Yeah.
Instead
Yeah,
of doing
yeah.
a show, we were just all googling like, how long is a ban?
Yeah, I was still getting emails back from the support team at YouTube, like last week, of like, we're still trying to figure out why. I was like, I got it back, problem solved.
Don't worry about it.
I was like, don't worry about it. You were no help. You're still trying to figure out the problem. And
Cool.
So welcome back.
Yeah.
yeah, welcome back. Good to see you.
Thanks for springing it on me on the air.
Yeah.
We
Well, and there's also a
I'm
world.
just going to go. I'm going to go.
There's also a world in which it might have been Noah.
no, I
Yeah.
don't think it's not what the email said at all.
Was that this actually guy with the gun did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it said that
They
we
said,
violated.
"Do you have a kinfolk?"
They said we saw kinfolk holding a Nerf gun, and that violates our policies.
That's a bad
But,
website.
Give him a real one.
But it has returned, and we are currently live. We appreciate everybody joining us this morning here on this Friday as we close out our week of returning, because we missed, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all returning from Omaha, and then we obviously had a show yesterday. And today we will be joined by John Eads at 7:30 this morning to recap the baseball season, all the great coverage he gave us, but he gave all of you through his own social media and through WAFB this baseball season. He's going to come in and recap the national championship season. The headlines, obviously, it is officially the off season. Next week kind of really brings in the first week of off season. Like literally nothing going on outside of professional baseball for the next month or two, really, until LSU fall camp kicks off in August. So we're going to try to make as much content as we can for the offseason, but one man who is ready for the offseason is Jay Johnson, as he has two transfer portal announcements yesterday, two left-handed pitchers, Danny Lockenmeyer and Ryler Smart, both, like I said, lefty arms out of the transfer portal. Ryler Smart was a redshirt, and they're both young, I believe. They're both freshmen. Ryler Smart was a redshirt as he did not play last year because of an injury, and Lockenmeyer actually had some pretty good numbers on the season as he finished, let's see, his stats, if I can find it here. What happened to the stuff I put? There it is. Lockenmeyer came out of the bullpen in 24 games. He compiled a 2.37 ERA with 56 strikeouts to 18 walks, and opponents had a 192 batting average against him in his 38 innings. In those 38 innings, he had 3 1/3 scoreless innings against Kansas and Creighton in the regional. And then Ryler Smart is just a former top 200 recruit out of Texas who's transferring to LSU. Here is Lockenmeyer when he played in Alec Box earlier in the season against the Tigers for North Dakota State.
Who did you get? Fry?
That was just Papi.
Luis Hernandez, and then Curiel with the strikeout, which I
Yep.
thought was the most interesting one because he's not the easiest man to get caught looking.
Yes, no, I mean, Curiel is a puts together professional ABs when he's at the plate, so be able to get Curiel, to be able to strike him out with the way he sees the baseball is pretty impressive in itself.
And
So-
even Stanfield, the way that his year continued to progress.
But I mean,
big bendy lefty.
You have last year you had three relief lefties, three lefties out of the pen in Cooper Williams, DJ Primo, and Connor Ware, and then obviously you had Kate Anderson, who was your starter. You needed some left-handed pitching to really add a mix, because later in the season you really didn't, they didn't trust Connor Ware all that much to go out there and deliver. DJ Primo was a matchup guy. Cooper Williams ended up becoming really the only lefty arm they trusted to go out there and extend in games. So it's nice to see them add some lefties to the mix, and Jay Johnson, I don't believe, will stop anytime soon. Next up, I see it already happening in the chat this morning. As it began on social media yesterday, I saw the push for Ethan Fry begin on social media, which it's been talked about a whole lot, but I saw the true push for him to come back on social media yesterday, and then I saw it here in the chat this morning. Slat, y'all think Fry will come back? Fonz says 50-50, and then Fonz asked, if he comes back, where is he going to play? Paul Zarang says first base or left field. Look, I would be very surprised if Ethan Fry came back, if his athletic ability was being put at first base instead of the outfield. I think, in my opinion, that Ethan Fry would be an outfielder, and I think if Fry came back, it would be Curiel in center, Brown in right, Fry in left. And I don't feel like there's really, not trying to say like I know everything, but I just feel like it's pretty easy and simple just to set it up that way.
Well, I think that you would have to want to highlight, if he comes back, like I want to highlight everything that I do well.
Right.
And that would be showing off that I run a
4.3
4.40 at 240 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he would be coming back to show, is everything outside of the bat. Because from an offensive standpoint, he showed all he can show this season. Yeah, it can get better. But I mean,
it can get a lot better.
The power, the ability that he showed at the plate to put together good ABs, to have him coming 120 miles off the bat, whether it's a homer, whether it's doubles off the wall, and also the big moment hitting he showed. The reason he would be coming back is to showcase his athletic ability defensively, and I believe that would be best shown in the outfield. But it really is kind of, I would say, almost 50-50 on if he comes back or not. Like, I could see it really both ways, like him leaving or him returning. I could see that happening, either one of them. So only time will tell, and we'll see if Fry decides to return. But really, I was kind of in the mindset that I didn't think Fry was going to be coming back. And so my mindset since the season ended, or really before, was that you were going to be moving into 2026 without Ethan Fry. So I guess we shall see what his decision is. Also, yesterday, Michaela Williams showed off some of her skill, the LSU basketball star who is going into her junior season with all of the expectations in the world. She's playing on the, I forget, the women's 3x3 Olympic team, the USA team. And there are some clips of her working yesterday, and man, is she impressive on the basketball court. That is tough. But yeah, I mean, she, like, if you could just sit back and watch this, just watch her work, because when she has the basketball in her hands one-on-one, this right here is special.
Oh.
Like, talk about creating space. She doesn't need much space to get her jumper off. And then the playmaking ability.
Well, she sent that one to Reedus. It was like coaches about passing getting better. And he was like, yeah, we're working on it.
Yep. That'll work. Because the expectations of her going into next season are going to be and should be pretty high.
That backcourt's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be special. Like, you saw her.
With her and Falasia and
Flauget in Malaysia.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
You put them together.
Yep.
They're best friends.
Okay.
And, but the growth says
Falasia.
John and Lloyd.
Calm down back there. The growth that she showed from her freshman year to her sophomore year, the expectations should be high moving into her junior year as she joins a backcourt with Flauget Johnson and Malaysia Fulwiley.
That's just not what they like to be called.
The two very talented.
They hit it off
in addition to Michaela. You want to play this clip of Joel Klatt that we will get to.
Klatt's ready.
We will get to. I just want to play this clip, and then we'll come back and talk to it after John Eads leaves this morning. Talk about it. After John Eads leaves, we'll get back to the LSU football discussion before we dive fully into LSU baseball with our guy from WFB 9 and recap the baseball season.
All right, let's see what Joel Klatt has to say.
November 8th, LSU at Alabama. You're talking about a monster game with playoff implications. I don't know if the loser of this game can get over that and still get into the playoffs. Maybe they can, but I don't know if they can. This is not like an Alabama-Georgia game, where I'm like, okay, listen, winner's going to go to the SEC championship game. This game, LSU Alabama, feels a lot more like you got to win it to go to the playoff. Now, we'll see what happens in some of those weeks prior, but this one could be that type of implication. Battle for maybe the 3-4 spot in the SEC, presumably that playoff berth. You've got, again, the implications that I talked about for LSU earlier and Brian Kelly needing to take the step forward. And then certainly for Kalen DeBoer, you can't expect that he's going to get a ton of runway from the faithful at Alabama. The way things finished last year was not, quote, Alabama. And so he's got tough test at Georgia, but you got to beat LSU at home. These are kind of the standards that they've set for themselves there with Alabama, and he's going to have that chance there week 11, November 8th.
Very interesting piece of content there from Joel Klatt that we will get into once we wrap up the LSU baseball discussion with John Eads, who will be joining us shortly this morning to discuss and recap the LSU baseball national championship season. Probably a tad bit sunburned because he was applying that sunscreen quite often to his Michigan skin while he was in Omaha. And good on him, because I just don't ever use sunscreen ever. Like whether I'm at the beach, whether I'm standing outside in a baseball game, which it probably would be smart. The sun was beaming in Omaha.
It's going to catch up with you.
Willie beaming.
There you go.
No, I've heard. I got an email from one of our guys that listens to the show religiously.
Uh-huh.
Great guy. Thought he was not really a real person, but is. I thought it was like a chat GPT type deal.
An
but
AI.
No, but this man
It's a human being.
It's a human being with real takes and real thoughts and real brains and real hearts. And he said sunscreen's bad for you.
Okay.
And I believe him.
Of course you do.
Oh.
You love
A conspiracy. Shout out Mirrored Man.
I just don't think wrinkles are good for you.
Into the two claps this morning. Kate Anderson.
President.
Kate Anderson deserves 2 claps for the season, but he was rewarded the honor of Baseball America's Pitcher of the Year, rightfully so. 2 claps. Ready. The Seth Dardar home run made its rounds on Twitter yesterday, and rightfully so, because we all remember, like I remember that there was a homer hit off of Cade and it was a solo shot, and when he committed, everyone said, yeah, this was the guy that hit the solo homer off of Cade Anderson. Well, the video somehow made the rounds back through Twitter yesterday, and I did not realize how hard he pimped this home run when it left his bat. I mean, first of all, he went back and he crushed that baseball, and then the bat flip was unbelievable as he hit the solo homer off of Baseball America's Pitcher of the Year and everyone's Pitcher of the Year, and Cade Anderson. And Seth Dardar will now obviously be an LSU Tiger. I thought I put the link in here for us to play the video, but God, he pimped that home run. So if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it and get excited about the power and the swag that is coming home to Baton Rouge to join your LSU Tigers. Can we get 2 claps for Mr. Dardar? Ready.
Dardar Binks.
The dry erase intimidator. This was pretty funny. I was scrolling through Twitter yesterday, and Caden Yaps on Twitter put out a screenshot or a post with a picture of the intimidator, but instead it was just a dry erase board now for all the changes, the alterations it's going to have to go through so often. And it honestly isn't that bad of an idea. It'd probably save LSU some money, not that do a dry erase board, but to do something like digitally to where you could just mark off the years rather than having to go in every year, rip it down, put a placeholder up, and 2 claps to LSU for getting that placeholder done in like 2 days to have it ready to go for the celebration. But 2 claps to this because he's not wrong. Like I said about the shirt that we have on obviousshirts.com where it has all the years on it. Somebody was like, I want to buy it, but I feel like it's going to be outdated pretty quickly.
I'll have it for a year.
And rightfully so. So 2 claps to this post and to LSU Baseball for being so darn good that you have to change the Intimidator every single year. Ready? 2 claps.
Wait, real quick.
What?
Do you remember when they did this in 23? They put this.
Yes. and the
people
freak
lost
out.
their mind. They thought that
People were still freaking out about this one that forgot about it last time.
it was it's 2 years ago.
Right. Not that long ago.
But they put this up, and they're like, they're changing the Intimidator?
It's a placeholder.
The Intimidator is as marquee as Big Ben.
Well, it's not
as
the Intimidator.
Marquee as the Freedom Tower. Not those.
No, yeah.
God, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
The Pentagon.
There you go.
You overstepped.
The White House.
There you go.
They're not changing the Intimidator
No.
unless it's to put another year on it.
It's not the Intimidator
It's-
if it doesn't have all of the
They're not
years on it.
taking Babe Ruth out of the Yankee Stadium.
No.
He's still back there eating hot dogs and chugging beers.
Come
and
on now.
swinging big bats.
Hitting homers.
His old body's back there.
He's 5'8", 240 pounds.
His old like big
That's a
weird
tank.
body's back there.
That is a tank. I love that.
He's alive.
Derek Queen deserves 2 claps. The new
Heroes get remembered. Legends never die.
Pelican
trapped.
center that they drafted the other day, Derek Queen, updated his LinkedIn profile. I don't know if anyone saw this. His LinkedIn profile was updated, as Lloyd's going to pull it up on the screen in a sec for you all to see. He deserves 2 claps because I respect the hustle. Somebody was like, your NBA contracts end, connections on LinkedIn never end. And rightfully so, as this was the coolest thing I saw yesterday. Happy to share that I'm starting a new position as a professional basketball player at the New Orleans Pelicans. Can't wait to touch down in New Orleans and meet the fans. Like, starting a new position as a professional basketball player. Derek Queen, 2 claps, ready. Last but not least, the ChatGPT Super Bowls. There was a ChatGPT forum put out and posted asking ChatGPT, the AI, to name when every NFL team was going to win their next Super Bowl. And I thought this would be awesome to put up on the screen, let everyone enjoy, because the Saints obviously stood out, but it could definitely be worse.
At least they got mentioned.
As you can see in the bottom left, the Saints' next Super Bowl will be in 2078, according to ChatGPT, which is one of the older, like the farthest away ones, until you look at the Browns. And the Browns' next Super Bowl will be in 2103, as they are.
Oh, God, they'll still be playing football. What about player health?
That's tough.
If there's football still going on at that point. But yeah, it seems there's some close ones. The Ravens 2026, the Jets obviously way in 2070, the Saints in 2078.
I saw one of these the other day where ChatGPT just went totally fucking off the rails and was like, the London Acrobats are going to win it in 2084. They're just making teams up, and it still actually beat the
League
fake
expansion.
teams one before the Saints.
Fair enough.
That one that I saw, these 3 complete.
Give him Derek Carr.
So if
David Carr.
ChatGPT, if
Matters of
ChatGPT
fiction.
knows what they're talking about, Saints fans, get prepared for 2078 when the
That
Saints
is
win. What's
52 years from now?
53?
53 years from now?
How old are you right now?
I'm going to be
You don't know.
70.
32.
I would be 68. 2078, I would be 76.
So I would be 81, 82.
No, you would be 10
84.
years older than me. So if I'm 76, you'd be 86.
And you would be.
I'm 70. We don't need to
Right
do
now?
that.
You're
I'm
70?
going, no, yeah.
Yeah!
Now and forever.
Here's a sucker.
You're a sucker. Minnesota.
Oh, no, see.
We're going to take a quick break, reset. We'll have John
I
Eads
missed
come in
one
here
fuck-
and join us to
unbelievable.
Yeah.
recap LSU
It's that jokes are
baseball's
funny, aren't they?
national
Why don't you ask Jacques
championship
Doucet about Lloyd Cushenberry?
Why is Lloyd Christmas?
What was that?
Oh, well.
Oh. Pyaw! That's another throwback.
Fuck this.
Cut the music! What do you mean to play him out?
It's a commitment to craftsmanship. Our team shows up on time. When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's repair, a replacement, or storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
All right, welcome back here as we are joined by a very special guest, the hardest working man that we actually got to witness it with our own two eyes this past 2 weeks as he was grinding in Omaha covering LSU baseball. Done a outstanding job helping us out with baseball coverage and obviously doing his job for WAFB throughout this entire LSU baseball season, which was capped off with a national championship on Sunday. Good morning, John. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I can't believe that was Sunday. Jeez. Today's Friday?
Yes.
Man, it feels like 2 weeks ago now at this point. Lots happened since then, but appreciate it. It was good to see you guys there. Cool to do an RV episode in the parking lot of a hotel in Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Right in the casino.
This show's been a lot of places.
Yes.
Lloyd decided to show his appreciation to me by slapping my butt repeatedly before I came.
He was like full squat, and I got both cheeks.
That's how you get the angles, Lloyd.
Yeah, that I know. And I was just appreciating, like, you know, you clearly go to the gym.
Appreciating what?
The aesthetic.
Yeah.
Imagine Jay was right behind me.
He would have loved it.
He would expect nothing less from Lloyd Courtney.
I was like, who the heck just did that? Because Lloyd, our relationships, you know, we have our moments of joking around and semi-professionalism. That was.
I think you're the semi and the professionalism in that.
I don't think there's
I was
anybody
the semi
else.
in that moment.
I don't think there's anybody else on this planet that would have done that.
No, there's not.
It's all
Genuinely,
right.
there isn't.
It was a funny moment, but no, that was a good time, and it was cool seeing all y'all in the foul territory there, Christian and Lloyd.
You'd have thought Christian had won the lottery. Whenever he got onto the field, he was like, "This is what we get to do." And I was like, "I'll kind of feel this. Like, is this normal?" It's like, "No, dude, this is unbelievably cool." I still have Omaha dirt in my mouth and in my pocket.
Oh,
There you go.
I have it all in my camera eye hole.
Oh,
And
nice.
it's probably going to be there forever.
Ever.
So that's why I didn't need to pick
Save
up
it for
any
next year.
dirt. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'll get it refreshed next June.
But obviously, the season gets capped off with a special 2 weeks in Omaha where LSU goes 5-0 undefeated. Talk about Omaha in totality for LSU. The Arkansas, UCLA, Arkansas, Coastal, those 5 victories, and just everything going into it from a player, coach, and team standpoint.
Well, it couldn't have gone any better because they didn't lose a single game.
Right.
Right? And I think that's the first time in this new format where it's a 3-game series in the championship that they didn't lose a game. They got it done in 2. So great experience. Had a lot of fun. Where did Lloyd go?
He's back.
Okay.
I turned the air down.
He's starting to sweat.
It was a great experience. I enjoyed it. I heard a lot about it from fans and stuff. And aside from the rain delay against UCLA on the Monday, everything went without a hitch. I mean, you had some walk-off victories sprinkled in there. Obviously, it wouldn't be an LSU baseball experience without a rain delay. So it was a great time. There were a lot of people there. Like, you know, obviously you hear about it, LSU, Alec Box North, they take over in Omaha, but you really saw it, especially when Schnall got ejected in the first inning. Practically the entire stadium was on its feet chanting LSU, and I was like, are there even any Coastal Carolina fans in here, like, at all? So it was essentially an LSU home game, really all week. I mean, Arkansas had a good fan base for the games they played them. UCLA was not there, completely non-existent. Who was the other team? Was it just
Murray State?
Murray State.
Yeah.
They didn't play Murray State though. So, it was an LSU takeover in Rocco's. They in fact went too hard. Lloyd, you could probably speak to this. No, you too. Too hard at Rocco's.
Yeah, definitely no.
Multiple times they had to shut down Rocco's. There were days I got out of the stadium at 11 o'clock, midnight. Those are peak hours to be out celebrating, especially after the title. And, like, the entire town was shut down. I was like, where is everybody? How are we supposed to have any fun? We just got done working. And
that's what
Rocco's just closed and everything.
Rocco's closed at like 8 p.m., it seemed like, on Championship Sunday. Like, we were walking the streets and
Blatt's was open.
Blatt's was open.
Yeah,
and packed.
technically. I looks like a great establishment. I'm sure a lot of people have had good times in there. I might be boycotting the Blatt forever because I tried to go in there at 12:45 after they won the Natty.
Oh, you night owl.
Yeah, I mean that we had got done working.
gotta cut my
Yeah,
bed.
job's finished.
Someone's got to do the work, and they didn't close until 2 o'clock. And they're like, "Nope, we're not letting anybody in." I was like, "You guys don't close for an hour and 15 minutes. What am I going to do in an hour and 15 minutes? All I need is an hour. Let me go in and have some fun." Everybody was in there.
Fair enough.
Like, come on,
You
man.
didn't flash your credential?
No.
Yeah, supposedly that worked in places, like, because we
it?
obviously tried to go to Rocco's the first time, like the first day we got there.
Oh, Christian got
Lloyd
sniffed
walks
out.
I
in,
heard.
Christian's between us, and I'm in the back, and Christian they go,
Mm-mm.
turn around. Like, didn't even, like, ask for his ID, nothing. He just looked at Christian and said, nope.
Okay, got to be 21.
How old is Christian?
19. He
Yeah.
looks 12.
Well, he
Yeah.
turns 20 next week.
He
Christian
also
does.
could be 32, depending on who you ask.
Depending on what he pulls
He
out of
has
his
an
wallet.
ID that says he's 32 years old. Like, Christian, like,
No.
why are you McLovin? One
Literally.
name?
Yeah, those
Literally.
guys aren't playing around up there.
No,
you know?
they're taking it very serious.
Yeah, so that's a bummer. But no, I didn't pull out the credential. I was
don't
just
want a
really
big dog.
annoyed.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'd have been
but
aggravated as well.
we
They're probably
pivoted.
scared of you to go in there at that time, though.
What's that?
You could be a rabble rouser. Like, don't let somebody in there.
I literally
jack.
just wanted to go in and have some conversations with people
Of
that
course.
I wanted to have conversations with that
Girls.
I will not that I probably would not see again, because we have this national championship ceremony and stuff, but I had to hustle back a report from that on Monday. So there's a lot of people I wanted to kind of say, hey, good luck to, and thanks for everything and whatnot, that aren't going to be on this team again. They didn't really have the chance to do that. So that would have been a good time. Maybe they wouldn't have been very coherent, but some of them perhaps.
Right.
Well, Chance Brown was Lloyd Courtney. He took my credential
Really?
to get on the. He couldn't get on the field, and I was like, "There's no world in which you should." Jake Brown's dad, obviously.
Yes.
I was like, "There's no world in which you shouldn't be on the field," and he was like. I was like, absolutely. Went into the dugout, threw it over the dugout, but under the net. He grabs it. Then when I have to leave, they're like, "Where's your credential?" I was like, "Oh God!" And so I just left.
Just ran. Where's your credential at? Bye.
That's so annoying. I noticed that, like, after LSU beat Arkansas, Anthony Ianson was giving people high fives, coming from the bullpen. And they were trying to, like, hustle him off the field. Like, all right, let's go. We got placed down. I'm like, dude, what? Like, where do you
win a
have to
national
be?
championship?
Right, like,
Same thing with Jay. Whenever they're like, all right,
one more question.
One more question.
Yeah.
He's like, I've got all the time in the world. We just won a
Right.
national championship.
Yeah. And I know the guy that was moderating that. And I think they were
It's
just
not
trying
that he
to
has a
keep it
job.
succinct.
Yeah.
Same thing happened at the regionals and the supers.
Right.
Like, they feel like, these guys just want to get going. They don't like the media, but that's not Jay Johnson. That's why we like him.
Love him.
Just sometimes, well, exactly. And that's why, I'm sorry, it just felt sometimes like what they were doing was rushed and stuff, and it's just like, I don't know, like that. And then Derek was celebrating with his mom, and then I started doing an interview with him, and they were almost like it was, I don't know, a scene out of a movie where, you had to let your boy go, and the mom was getting pulled back. Like, you got to let him go. They were pushing them out of the stadium, and they weren't even on the field. Like, the parents should be on the field. Like, what are
Right.
we doing there? So,
I did my best.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
You
I
did. Good job.
So, no, to your point, I don't know what was up with the security and stuff this year, but
You just gotta let it be more natural and
Yeah.
let these are kids and their family, like let them and their
kids
parents
and the parents
enjoy this.
and the girlfriends, just
Right.
like at the box, like that's how it
Yeah,
should.
let 'em
should
enjoy
be,
it.
You know
Well,
what I mean? Like,
And I would say, I guess LSU might be a different test case because I don't know if they expect that, but the way that the families were this year was very reminiscent of 2023, where they're like all in.
Yeah.
Like they're doing tailgates before, they're throwing parties.
I
Like it
saw
feels
it.
like they're a part of the team. And to not let them on the field after, like, they're kids and they're their kids. And it's like, y'all deserve to be out here,
Yes.
certainly more than Christian does.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And it's just crazy that like, they have no feel for that moment of like, maybe I want to celebrate with my mom and dad.
yeah, it was kind of, they were all, it was cool. It was cool. They're walking around high fiving and hugging each other, the players. But like that's a moment for the families.
Yeah.
To all kind of enjoy.
Or if LSU,
together.
or LSU walks it off, you go through the dugout into the tunnel and you high five all the fans like you're on
Yeah.
the team,
Yeah,
like
so
I did.
I saw that. I was interviewing some guys in the dugout, and I looked to my left, and Lloyd is in the dugout, and he's going and giving the fans high fives. I was like, what the heck is going on? So that was funny. It's just a
Unbelievable.
lot of scenes. I had
Yes.
something else I wanted to say. Let me try and think about it. With people and celebrating after the game and stuff.
Oh, the Chanticleers?
No.
Chanticleers, or I'll fight you.
Get it right, or I'll attack you down the first baseline.
Trying to regather my train of thought.
That's hard to do on this show.
I know. I can't do it.
It's okay.
I'll try to do it.
This team, the coaches, the players, and like we've said, the families all feel very special. Like we talked about it like at the start of the season when we were first covering this baseball team and this program, was that this team felt different. They felt like they had a bond. They were tight knit, and Jay used the term tough and together. It really did feel like even up until the end, this team was just different. Like from, I said it yesterday, the parents of the players were involved and were nice and were special. The coaching staff is just the best in the country, and then this team was just so tight knit. Talk about this 2025 LSU baseball team.
I think it was a different team. I think 23 you had more stars. Paul Skeens,
Yeah.
Tommy White, Dylan Cruz, Trey Morgan. like guys that produced big numbers and had to play well for that team to win. This year's team, you had some star potential, no doubt. I mean, Cade Anderson is the best pitcher in the country. Like, he's a star, right? But
don't tell him that. He doesn't know.
I know. He'll say, well, no, I should have struck out all 27 guys,
well.
you know, which is why he's so good, part of why he's so good. But I think that this was one of the talking points preseason, as Jay said it and some of the players said it. We don't have a lot of stars, but we just have a lot of very talented, good players. And what helped is that they all played together. And Jay would come up with his batting order, his lineup, and he would have specific jobs for each guy to do. And they did their jobs. Like, it sounds cliche and it sounds so simple, but it really is as simple as that, you know? How do you score a run? Hit a leadoff double, and then have the next guy hit a single. Like it was that simple. They would just execute their jobs at the right moments. And Jay brought a lot of guys in from the portal, maybe too many guys from the portal, because there were so many players on the bench that hardly played this year that were good enough to play. But I would say he hit in the portal on pretty much everybody. There are some guys that didn't have a big impact on the field with this team, but still provided that impact in other ways. Daniel Dickinson hit that one. Luis Hernandez hit on that one. Chris Stanfield hit on that one.
2 hits. Like, unbelievable.
Literally. Yeah.
Anthony Ianson.
Yep, Anthony Ianson, another, pretty darn good player. And there's so many that you can point to beyond that as well. But then they also hit from a freshman standpoint too. Obviously, Derek Curriel out in the outfield, Cooper Williams, Kason Evans. So they needed to add some impact players, and they needed to be the right fit in every way, and he did that. So it was just a really good team. I've had this discussion in the past few days with people. There wasn't really a point in time this year where I was like, yeah, they're absolutely winning the national championship. Right. Like, there were some games where you were like, wow, that was really cool. But there's, it's a long season. It's a 56-game season. You'll get walk-off wins here and there. You'll get walked off here and there. So it's hard to, like, put all your eggs in that basket. And you almost feel like you are overreacting when you beat Tennessee at 1 in the morning on a 6-run 9th inning. And you're like, yeah, they're absolutely going to go to Omaha and win the Natty. Like, I don't know if anybody was really saying that. But now you can look back at it and say that was kind of a flashpoint, that they had that kind of potential. And you know what? They took care of their business. Sometimes you got to get a little lucky, too. Things got to break your way is, I think, a better way of putting it than lucky, because there's nothing lucky about this team. The bracket played out the way that it did. We all said, I think, that LSU and Arkansas was the national championship, and whoever won that, the 2 games, was going to win the title ultimately, and that's exactly what happened. So it was a great job by Jay of learning lessons from last year, building a team based off the lessons he learned. They executed, they took care of their business, and the situation and the poker table they were playing at with the cards they were dealt, they won.
Well, he got to reshuffle the deck as many times as he wanted. That's where that's where Jay Johnson makes his hay. Like, you act like you said, there's almost too much talent, and that's what he does. He stacks the deck in his favor to be able to put in a Dalton Beck, a Baby Pearson, like all of these things wherever it's like every move he has a counter move. And I would say, at some point, like you said, like what was like the seminal moment where like this is a national championship team? I kind of had that similar feeling of this isn't a fluke though. Like, they keep winning games in the 9th
many
inning.
times.
And it's like at some point, like, that becomes your identity. That's who you are, and that was what LSU was.
But it also wasn't like Oregon State, where it was, oh, this is cute. They have so many walk-off wins. Like,
right.
We're just going to win the game in the 9th. Like, they won a lot of different types of games this year, like pitchers' duels, 1-0 against Coastal, and then the next day they win 5-3. Not necessarily a pitcher's duel, but good pitching and situational, timely offense. Derek with the 2 RBI single. Chris Stanfield, another, and so on and so forth. Milam with the RBI single in the first game when it was 1-0.
Well, no, you could win a 1-0 game against Arkansas, and you can turn around and 10-run them.
Exactly.
Like, that's what LSU was doing all year. It was crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, they could win a multitude of ways.
Yep, and that's what you need to do in baseball, because there are so many games and there's so many variables and there's different people on the mound and pitching and stuff. And I mean, they won a 9-5 game against UCLA. Granted, it was kind of over 2 days and stuff, so that kind of affected things a little bit. But
it's more of a testament to how they're built.
Exactly.
Like, that should have been that could have been a death knell for many teams to be able to lose especially a guy like Anthony Ianson throw 44 pitches. Like,
Get
Well,
ready
now
to
what
learn
do you do?
Case and Evans, buddy.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what they did.
No, I mean, it is a testament to the team where they didn't even flinch. Like the weather delay, the discussion was, this could be a huge hit for this team and just what could happen moving forward, and they didn't flinch at all. My question to you, in Omaha, what are some of the performances that you think, when we think back to 2023, their performances like Skeens versus Wake Forest, Ackenhausen versus Tennessee, all of these different things. Name a couple of those performances on this run where they went 5-0 in Omaha to win the whole thing.
That's the thing. There's so many to
Right.
recap because there were so many impact players on the team. I think Cade Anderson's 2 starts are
Yes.
noteworthy.
Complete game.
Yeah, I think that the second one maybe was better than the first. I'm not really.
Yeah, no,
I mean, it
I
has
mean,
to be. Yeah.
Set and setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So probably the second start. I mean, the first start was really good too. 7 innings, right? 7 Ks, set LSU up to win that game. I don't know if there was an exact moment for Chase Shores because he appeared 4 different times or whatever the number was. But I think that he deserves a mention because he really helped them out. You always talk about shrinking the bullpen down to, 6 to 8 guys that you can rely on. And he really carried a lot of weight going in 3-4 different times and pitching at the level that he did. Cool as well that he got to close out the entire national championship. Just like the Supers. That was his trial run, right? Throwing the glove, and then he threw the glove again. And, both times he ended up winning. So definitely Cade's CG in the 1-0 win, I think, is noteworthy. I want to say Case and Evans in that UCLA game because
It's forgotten.
Yeah, no doubt. What do you go, 5-6 innings or so, thereabouts? Maybe it was 5 1/3. Zach Cowan as well.
Yes,
I think
Arkansas.
his start against Arkansas, people will forget about that because of how the game ended, but he put up a lot of zeros for them. Like, things could have gotten out of hand early. Like you saw it in Chapel Hill last year when Dutton and Coleman couldn't really get through the batting order once. Helmers had to come in and save the day. It could have been that kind of a situation. You don't know if you have a Helmers on this team. You probably do, but the way that he started that game set them up very well. Let's see, Jared Jones, definitely.
Yeah.
The way that he rebounded from a 5-strikeout game with the home run against UCLA, and then he did it again against Arkansas in the game that they walked it off with the homer, and then also obviously the walk-off single there. So those were great performances. I want to give Luis Hernandez a mention. He had some timely offensive moments, but he also
certainly won.
right.
Yeah, rocket off the shoulder of
Yeah.
the
Pistol.
Arkansas left fielder.
Got to put it in play,
Yep.
and you never know.
Pistol whipped him.
But he also was great catching. He caught every game in Omaha. That's 7 games in 2 weeks. I guess that's not different from how things typically are during a regular season, but that's taxing. I mean, that's at the end of how many games they played this year?
Well, I know he
53
caught a lot
wins.
of baseball games in general.
Yeah, 60. I would guess
Yeah.
about 60 games thereabouts. But especially there were moments I wrote down where he blocked some pitches that could have changed the game if they get by him. Moving like Coastal likes to do, their base runners up, putting them in scoring position. Also made the throw to throw the guy out at third when he stole third. Granted, it was late, but he got the throw there, and Braswell applied the tag, so that was awesome. I'm going to ramble on and on and on because really every player made an impact in every single game. I think collectively, though, the last thing I want to say is the defense impressed me. They hardly made any errors. If they did, Jared, I think, dropped that ball in the double play, which allowed Arkansas to take the lead. What did he do? Come right back and make up for his mistake, like nobody even remembers that. Dickinson had a broken hand, and the dude balled out at second. Milam was Milam at short, and Braswell, kind of like Jordan Thompson, maybe didn't bring the bat this year, but was clutch and didn't let that affect his defensive play, and he made a lot of great defensive plays for him. And, Jake Brown made plays. Stanfield had his moments. Curiel obviously had the game-winning 2 RBI single there. We can go on and on. There are so many, but that is why this team was so good. And it goes back to what I opened this point with, was that it was a great team, not necessarily a super team in terms of stars, but just a lot of great players.
Yeah, you can only play 9, and it felt like 11 to 15 made an impact.
Yeah.
And we what was your term? You got to put something in the bucket. Mm-hmm. And we talked about, like, this team is the epitome of putting something in the bucket. Like, every game you could go down the list of the 11 or 12 guys that were either on the mound or on the field they put something in the bucket to get to the victory. One moment I want to highlight and ask you about, against Arkansas in that second game, Cowan obviously put together what was an awesome performance, but the offense did not show up while he was balling out on the mound. And there's a moment in this game where LSU gets runners on, and then I think Van Horn makes a pitching change, goes with Gackle, and then makes a decision to intentionally walk Josh Pearson, and then Jay decides to pinch hit Jake Brown for Chris Stanfield at that point in the game.
Yep.
And obviously Brown ends up hitting like a 2 RBI single to put LSU up 2-1. Talk about that moment, because to me that moment felt like that was a chess match between two of the three best coaches in the country. You know, like Dave Van Horn versus Jay Johnson, and Jay made the game-winning move in that moment to take Chris Stanfield out of the lineup and
something
off
he's
the
never
field
done
defensively, to go with Jake Brown in that moment to get the big 2 RBI single.
Yeah, it just goes back to the depth, which we talked about all year. There's always an ace in the deck of cards that you can pull out, and more
he has the
often than
fifth
not,
one up his sleeve.
Yeah, exactly. And we had not seen that all year. Like, Chris was always in center field. Like, I was trying to think back to games where he wasn't out there roaming the middle, and they were few and far between. The one moment I could remember was Derek Curriel catching the game-winning out against Alabama in their opening game of the series, and he did a backflip. That's the only reason I remember it, is because he was right in the middle of the outfield. There's no other reason why he would have been there, and he backflipped, and we got it on video. But that was a gamble. That was a risky move. Like, from an offensive standpoint, you're taking Stanfield out of the lineup, who was on a heater at that point in time. Obviously, defensively, you feel good with him out there because he has played center field for 50-plus games in the season. At that point in time, you had to move Derek to center, where he probably wants to play next year and in the future to expand his impact on the baseball field. But he hadn't had a ton of experience there in college, especially not in Omaha, right, which is a different ballpark to play outfield in with the shadows and the size of it and the angles and stuff. And the moment, not to mention, which Chris didn't have a lot of experience there either before this season. But still, I mean, he had 50-plus games under his belt just at LSU in center field. So that was a risk. And you were kind of putting everything in for that one moment because you didn't really know how long Gackle was going to go. At that point in time, it was, the fifth inning or so, the fifth or sixth inning. And so you were kind of like playing that with, okay, this might be it right here. 2 runs might win the game. And lo and behold, that's what they get with putting Jake Brown in to hit that RBI single. They needed more. It would obviously prove later on in that game. But that's kind of the that's why Jay Johnson is elite, because obviously he recruits well, but he also prepares well. And in game, he makes moves and takes risks that sometimes work. More often than not, I'd say they work. When they don't, you definitely hear about it. But that's what it takes to win those kinds of games. And, DVH doesn't get outcoached a lot, but I would reckon to say there are points in that game where he did get outcoached. And obviously Arkansas, if they just catch the fly ball and execute in key moments, they win that game. And that's not really on Van Horn, I would say. Your left fielder dropping a ball inexplicably. Right. But, to win these heavyweight matchups with a lot of stakes riding on the game, and in Omaha, you got to take risks. You can't just go with the flow. You got to try to do things differently. And that's Jay on the phone, building that team in July, and being risky enough or brave enough to make that move at that large moment of the game. So it takes a lot, and not everybody has that in their repertoire, but Jay Johnson does, and that's why he's got 2 natties, and I think that's why he's going to win more at LSU.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the work he did last July. He just got back from winning his 2nd national championship, and he's right back to work. I think he said at the celebration the other night, when he was asked, when did you get back to work, he said the second the plane landed.
I believe it. I mean, just look at the guys. They've already got committed. I mean, he was getting these commitments while we were in the rain delay in the super regionals and the regionals and stuff with Braden Simpson, right, and Seth Dardar. And then maybe he told these guys to wait until they finished the national championship ceremony just out of respect to the current team. He gets Danny Lockenmeyer from North Dakota State, a guy that he saw with his own 2 eyes, and we all saw with our own 2 eyes in March or whenever they played the Bison. And then Ryler Smart from Tennessee, a guy he probably recruited out of high school but didn't get. And now is coming to LSU, kind of like Gage Jump from
Right.
UCLA, a guy that had an injury, didn't pitch a whole lot, but they think is high upside. So, and there's more coming, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
But I would say he's been recruiting the guys all year as well. Like, we had a conversation, and he's told other people this, that I don't think they're going to be as heavy in the portal this year because there's a lot of guys that could go pro but could also come back this year, which is unique based on other years where it's kind of no doubt, yep, these guys are going pro. I think there's a lot of guys on this current roster that had moments of making an impact that could have a bigger role in this team next year, and it might be more advantageous for them to stay and lose a year of leverage than to go pro.
Well, just because of the current construct of how Major League Baseball is now, where people used to go, oh, I need to start my clock early. I need to have that senior year as an ability, if I'm a junior, to use it as leverage, right? And now it feels like people are getting called up so much faster in Major League Baseball that the more you play college ball, like it's almost advantageous. And that's one of the questions we had in the chat, which was for you, sir.
Oh.
Which was like they're putting together a potential lineup, and they had, hold on, let me see if I can find it really quickly. Yeah, Matthew Conkle, Evans, Newt.
Go slow because I'm not a scholar.
That's right.
I'm really not a scholar.
You, and Jake Brown.
Yeah.
But they had Evans, Newt, Cowan, Rizzi, Guidry, Schmidt, Williams is a hell of a way to start a staff, and that speaks to the recruiting. But then you have Stanfield could come back, Fry can come back.
I don't think Stanfield's coming back.
I wouldn't. No, I would be surprised if he does because what more can you do? But I also had the same sentiment about Bear Jones, and he came back, and look how much.
Yeah, the only difference there is that Stanny's a junior and Bear was a sophomore. So he still has that leverage with pro ball. Stanny, I feel like, if he comes back, he's not going to get as much money as he would if he left this year, and he had a good enough season to go. Fry is an interesting discussion. Y'all were having it. I was listening in on it. There's things that he's told me that if you read between the tea leaves, you might be able to surmise that he'll be back, but it would make a lot more sense for him to go for the same reasons. He's a junior. He had a big year. There's a lot of potential in his bat. I think there's a lot of untapped potential that he'd want to get paid for now. But on the other hand, he might want to come back and win a third national championship. That's kind of what the read in the tea leaves.
And he could go from a 5th-round pick to a 1st-round pick.
Right. And, he could play first. He could play outfield. There's a lot you could do with him. And he would be the star of the team next year from an offensive standpoint, I think, from a power standpoint. So
Definitely.
I think Fry is possible. I don't think that's a foregone conclusion. What else you
got? Who else?
I was good. Well, I have him for Matthew Conkle.
Okay.
Tanner Reeves.
I think he's back. I think he hasn't told me that.
He's going to play second base.
Yeah, I think he's back. There's more that he can do at the college level. And he was a JUCO guy, so they're still trying to figure out what those rules are and stuff. He might have that leverage still if he does return.
That's a good point.
So, Ashton Larson.
I think he's back. I felt that way all year. A lot of people were trying to say, oh, he's going to transfer this and that. I think he's going to be a starting player next year. I think he's going to be an everyday player in the outfield next year. It's going to be Curriel, Brown, and Larson in the outfield, I think.
Or Fry.
He had the labrum surgery. He throws the ball fine, it looks like. But I wonder if teams are wary about that, and I wonder what his actual range of – I don't know – his range of motion is. So I think if he came back, you'd put him first base or something to that effect, personally. And that's your starting outfit.
That's part of the conversation.
Because otherwise, what do you do with Jake Brown? What do you do with DC? What do you do with Larson? At that point, Larson, I guess, would have to transfer. But I think he's too good to keep out of the lineup for 2 straight years.
Yeah.
And he played an absolute role. Like you talk about people playing like they're playing their part, playing their role, putting something in the bucket, holding the rope. Ashton Larson did that every time he got called on. It felt like he delivered. Another name.
And this could be his big year coming up. So.
Cowan.
Yeah, I didn't really think about it because same thing. He's a junior. He's got another year. But I don't know that his arsenal is pro level right now, and I don't know what his potential is because he's a shorter guy, stockier build. His velo is low 90s. He's got the changeup. I think that he could come back, work with Yeski a little bit more, maybe add to his pitch mix, try to get the velo up like Cade Anderson, working with Chris Martin and stuff. Certainly he's capable of going pro. I'm not trying to dog the guy. But he might have more to gain from coming back, and he could develop into a third starter potentially for this team, I think.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's hard. I mean, what did Jay Johnson say? It's like if you're not a if you're a pitcher in baseball,
You're out to lunch.
You're out to lunch if you don't want to come to LSU because look at what Yetski's
I mean, he's
done.
right. Think
Yeah.
about
He
it.
is.
No,
Gage
I mean-
Jump, Luke Coleman last year, they both transferred in and they got drafted high. 23,
Herring's
obviously,
pretty good.
Skeens and Ty Floyd, Griffin Herring. Yeah, like
Riley
they've-
Cooper.
Paul Gervais.
Oh, just got called up.
G.
Yep.
Yep.
There's a lot of guys that they have developed in a short period of time. I mean, look at Cade Anderson, for crying out
That's-
loud.
yeah,
He
right.
the best
hardly
example.
pitched last year at the end of the season. He was a bullpen guy. And then 1 year later, he's the best pitcher in college baseball. Like, after having Tommy John as a senior in high school.
Yeah.
Like, they're
Right.
right. I
Get
mean,
ready for William Schmidt, buddy.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna be majestic.
I'll be out to
Shores.
lunch.
Yeah. Chase Shores. That's another. That's
God.
another good one. Like,
Javen Coleman even just got pulled up.
well, my favorite thing about the Chase Shores conversation, feel like this is a great recruiting pitch to show pitchers is like, obviously the season didn't start the way Shores probably wanted it to, or really the fan base either, because they thought he was gonna be a Friday night guy, this, that, and the other. But then you hear Jay in the post-game presser after they win the whole thing talk about how they had the whole season mapped out for Chase of like, we knew we needed to get him a lot of pitches early. So he starts games. He got to go deep into games. Then they move him to the bullpen, which for some players might be like a bit of an ego hit. But it was all part of the plan for him to find his role and then do what he did in Omaha. Like, that to me is an even bigger recruiting pitch of like, we've got this whole thing mapped out.
Yeah.
Like, we had this plan for Chase mapped out, and it worked to perfection.
Pushing the right buttons at the right time
Right.
and actually knowing how to develop players. Like, that was really smart. They could
Yeah.
have come into the season leaving him in the bullpen and just allowing him to miss out on some big innings for his development. But they also see the bigger picture. Like, we're all complaining. People are going crazy on Tiger droppings. Oh, Shores looks bad in the preseason exhibitions. Shores
night guy.
looks bad. Why is he a starter? All this. Oh, he's a bust. All
They
this.
wanted to put Einstein in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it gave up 5 runs to Nebraska.
And then he struck out 15.
Put him in the bullpen, and then he strikes out 15, and then he goes CG, and then he wins you the national championship.
No, they know, and they know what they're doing. They didn't give up on Chase. They knew what he was capable of, and they got the best out of him at the right time. And that's all you can ask for as a player and as a coach, is getting the best at that particular moment out of the player that you have. And the
Yeah.
team that does that the most with the most players will win the national championship, and that's what they did this year. So, I don't think there's any reason why a pitcher shouldn't want to come to LSU. Not to mention Nate Yeske's awesome. I mean, you guys have talked to him. And,
he's great.
dude, he is really invested
LSU.
into
Yes.
this LSU thing, like through and through.
I mean, you got great video of him coming through the tunnel
Yeah,
when he gave
that was so funny.
Yeah.
I don't know what motivated him to do that, but he did it.
Yeah, pretty
Purple-
confident
it's that
in
purple
winning
and gold,
squad,
baby.
Yeah.
dude.
Probably Cade Anderson, Anthony Hines, and Chase Shores.
Yeah, no
Probably
doubt.
what motivated him.
Yeah.
You know, the
It was,
best pitchers of the country.
Impending doom.
Yeah.
And so they're
I know what I got.
It's
Let's
a
see
special-
your hand.
It's a special
luck.
staff.
Yeah.
Like,
They're-
outside of just Yeski, like the whole
Oh,
staff.
Josh
we had.
Jordan.
Yes.
He'll be back. Could have probably taken that Duke job, but
K-Dub. Wanamaker.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Wanaka.
yeah,
Tutko.
yep.
Tutko's the best.
It's a heck of a
Chris
staff.
Martin.
Chris Martin.
Like,
Josh
does not
Simpson.
get enough. I'm
Yeah.
still trying to
Yep.
get on Chris Martin's workout plan. I don't know if he's going to share it or not. He's just like, you just look unhealthy.
Oh my gosh. Well, if I get it this summer, I'll let you know.
Yeah, just send it. Yeah, send the PDF.
Yeah, no problem.
I won't do it. but-
Email it. Yeah, I just
Isaac
wanna look at it.
Trujillo as well. Their trainer. They had
Yeah.
like no injuries really this
That's
year.
what's
at all.
no,
incredible.
Yeah,
It's been a perfect
that
storm.
helps. Like Texas, they may have won the Natty this year.
Yeah, if they
their-
don't lose
their
their ace.
guy, Jared Spencer, right?
Yeah.
Jared Spencer didn't get hurt. So it takes a lot to win a
Yes.
national championship. Like, we don't think about even that, the strength and conditioning side of it, the injury side of it. It's a lot of moving variables, but they all aligned at once this year, and it just felt like a magical season. You know, it still hasn't really sunk in that they won this whole thing.
That's
for
crazy.
me. So
It was almost it felt like easy.
yeah,
Which is like,
So
but it wasn't. But they
it
made
wasn't,
it look
no,
like
but I'm
it.
saying when you
Yeah.
got to Omaha,
Yeah.
I was like, oh
Well,
God, they have
because
it figured out.
When what we went through in 2023 was like
There's not a
the
harder
roller
route.
coaster of all roller coasters of
I was talking
like,
people off the
the
ledge.
most difficult route you could take
Yeah.
to win a nat. You beat Tennessee, lose to Wake, Ackenhausen beats Tennessee, and then Herring beats Wake, and then you have the greatest baseball game ever that
Paul
ends in a
Skeens.
walk-off, and then you go against Florida, you win a tight extra inning game 1.
17 strikeouts.
You get waxed game 2, and then you turn around and you
wax
wax them
back.
again. Like, it was a roller coaster, and this one was just kind of like, it wasn't just smooth sailing because there were the ups and downs of this 5-0
It
stretch.
felt a little bit
but
more
like,
put together.
it was much, yeah, it was different.
That's what it looked like for us, and it was easy for us. I'm sure it wasn't easy
No.
for the guys, though. You know, I mean, Daniel Dickinson, as we mentioned, was playing with a broken hand.
Dog.
But you would never know that. Like, I talked
That's-
to the guy 5 times that week, and he was, like, smiling and
Yeah.
whatever, you know what I mean? I mean, he even took a picture with his mom in front of the statue. No
Right.
sling, no tape, nothing out of the ordinary. Like, so all the hard stuff, I think, was done throughout the season
Yes.
behind closed doors in the summer by the players working in the weight room, coach being on the phone, all the staff preparing for each game.
Togetherness.
The togetherness, like they
The
put in
toughness.
the work and went through the tribulations to win the Natty during the season, which is what you're supposed to do.
And
How
I
it
do
should go.
think, like, you can go from 2023 special group, right? Obviously, like, you talk about, like, you have the stars, you have Dylan Cruz, Paul Skeens. Like, it's easy to name the names. I do think that there's a world in which you saw 24 where even Jay has said it's, like, not the most talent. Like, we weren't very good. And they still were one pitch away from going and hosting a super regional at Alec Box.
They would have gone to Omaha if
Yeah,
they got
yeah.
the last 2 outs. There's no question. That's why Jay's such a great coach to me, is he gets the most out of his team.
They coached the shit out of that team.
Yeah,
but I think that's kind of like my greater point is I think there's people are going to start looking at LSU the way that they used to in terms of, like, it's always been the brand, it's always been. But I think, like, Jay has now built up the cachet of everybody
He's a
on that
monster.
staff and on that team that joins and goes, this is the way we're doing it.
Yep.
If you're not in on it, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
you won 2 in 3 years.
like,
Something's
yeah,
working.
so it's going to my plan works.
Yeah.
Like, because I think that in 24 it was like, oh, was 23 just like this shot through the moon?
Right.
And now it's like, no, look what I did in
No,
25.
this is real.
And if y'all buy into what I'm selling you, because in 23 he tells the story all the time, and he did it on Mic'd Up, where he's like, sat him down halfway through the year in 23, and he's like, do y'all want to win a national championship? He goes, if you do, it's right here. It's on the whiteboard. I have the plan. Follow it, and we'll win a national championship. But y'all have to buy in. And you saw that buy-in from the jump in 25.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just gives you a little more credibility. I think that's why when he was celebrating getting to Omaha the second time, it almost looked like he was relieved, you know? Like, oh, this really worked. Like, we did it, you know? Because the first time you might say, oh,
So stressful.
one-hit wonder, Maneri's recruits, it was all Paul Skeens, all the portal, and he just did it again, a completely different way, really.
Right.
It was
This
a
was
mix
a-
of recruiting, transfer, development, and great coaching.
25 is the most, like, that's
This is
what
Jay
LSU...
This is Jay Johnson.
That's what LSU's going to look like moving forward.
Yes.
He finally got his guys in. He's going to keep getting guys like that in.
And as much as it's the brand, and that's the argument against Jay Johnson, is that he's doing it at LSU, and LSU is the greatest baseball school
On the
ever.
pedestal.
And my argument the other day was 2000 was Skip's last national championship. 2023 was Jay's first. That's 23 years that there was only one national championship won at LSU. Like it, and now you've got 2 in a 3-year span. It's about to be special coming up.
Yeah, I set the over-under. It was probably a little too optimistic
5?
at the time at 4.5 in the airport. Maybe 3.5 would be a little bit more realistic.
He's already got 3.5 more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
and
the rest of
5
his
total
career.
isn't out. I mean, he's 45.
Yeah,
gonna
he's
coach
young.
for-
Yeah.
5 total is.
He's going to coach for 40 more. I'll be dead, and he'll still be
I mean,
coaching.
Skip has 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if he were to get 4 more, that'd be 6.
I can't wait
So,
for the Jay
yeah.
Johnson statue next to Skip. That's going to be
gonna be
larger.
awesome.
It's going to
Yeah.
be larger than
gonna be
life.
massive.
Yeah, that's how I think of him.
Yeah, but that Intimidator, man, they might need to build a new one at some point.
It's just
That-
going to have to be massive.
Yeah.
It's going to
If
be like
they
the Green
wrap
Monster.
it around.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I wonder if one day they'll
I don't know if he'll go
completely seat the outfield. You know, completely.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be changes probably.
They should go Wrigley Field and put like bleachers underneath on the Intimidator.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, well, people would steal it.
Yeah, well, definitely. But
Yeah.
it'd be
Throw
cool,
back the tiger
it'd be cool
off
for a
of
day
it.
or two. But
Good idea.
we did, yeah. Not anymore. I do want to give you your flowers and credit for a great baseball season of coverage that
Fun
you
year.
did. Because you absolutely crushed it. Both joining us and giving us the updates, the pregame, the recap, all of those things throughout the year. But the work you did at WFB covering this team, and especially even just Omaha, getting to witness it, but all year, I want to give you your flowers. You did a great job.
You're a mother duck. We had no idea where to go, what to do.
We just
like,
where's John at?
That's funny.
That's probably the right place.
yeah, that's right where
Well,
it should be.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on every week.
course.
It was cool to grow this relationship as we went throughout the season.
Only up from here.
And, yeah, no doubt, man.
So.
You don't just cover a team because they win the national championship. Like, I had no idea how good these guys were going to be in the fall and stuff, but this is my responsibility. When I have responsibilities, I take them very seriously.
Hear that, Noah?
And so it was crazy.
Me
to
and
see
John
this,
cut from the same cloth.
It's kind of like with Central this year, kind of being there in the summer and being there at the beginning of it. It's awesome to see the end of it because you know these people so well and you feel a lot more. Like, it's not just, they won the Natty, good for them. But it's like, oh, these, they become your friends, kind of, right? And you're like happy for them, and so it just feels a little bit different. So, man, what a stretch between that and this Natty, and yeah.
Fun year. But we appreciate
you. Real quick, like you talk about like feeling a part of it. Noah obviously had his responsibilities in the press box, not so much in Game 3 or in Game 2. He made his way down, but we were watching it with the parents, and you see how much they live and breathe it, and it's become stressful because it's tangentially tied to them. Obviously, like that's my kid, but like to watch it through their eyes is like, oh my God, I can't imagine. Like, you think that we care. Like, if you're a fan of LSU, I am, hand up, oh, God. Fan with the podcast. Whatever. But, like, to see them, like, live and die when their kids out there is unbelievable and how much they're tied to it. Like, I think that's something special that happens at LSU and not many other places.
It's like a fraternity, a sorority all in one. I mean, if you want to see video proof, SEC Unfiltered, their latest little
vlog.
Yeah, I mean, you see it in that video. I watched it yesterday. And you can kind of see the behind the scenes, the tailgates during the game, the emotion, all of it. Yeah, so it's it takes that too. Like the parents got to be tight knit, just like the players do. It was just all a collective
perfect storm.
A collective group this year, and I think Jake Brown's dad, Chance, was kind of the rallying guy and bringing everybody together. They're having the meals before the games, everything. It's a tradition that's been passed on. So
yeah, that's special.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you.
Now he's a credential member of the media.
Yeah, now he's got
Lloyd Courtney.
He's got Lloyd Courtney.
You guys look
about the
outside. Same. I see a lot of.
He said he was like, I'm gonna hang this by my grill.
I'm gonna frame this motherfucker.
Dude, he's awesome. He's awesome. Great team, great year.
Yeah.
But I expect us to be sitting down and doing this again.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
A year from today.
Seriously, I think so.
We appreciate your time. We know you got some 7-on-7 to go cover. So.
Yeah, the Jimmy Williams Classic.
There you
Third
go.
rendition.
Have fun.
Third one?
Third one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, we will take a quick break, let John go actually do work, and then we'll be right back.
The roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's repair, a replacement, or storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
All right.
Right.
We are back here. It is, we're closing out hour number 2 here this morning as John leaves us. Like we said, I mean, he's absolutely crushed the coverage all year from the baseball standpoint. He's getting ready to get his high school football started back up. And he's going there now to do some 7-on-7 to get ready for high school football as it is officially the off season. I want to play this Joel Klatt clip again so that everyone can hear it, so we can get into this conversation, a little LSU football conversation here as we are still recovering from the enjoyment of LSU baseball, what they had. Randy Jones, 2 hand claps for Johnny E. Johnny E was killing the spring for anyone else, if y'all remember, 100%. Matthew Conkle, I've been on cloud 9 since we dogpiled in Omaha. Every time I think of football, I get nervous as hell. This Clemson buildup is going to kill me. Why can't I stop and smell the roses? Because we're LSU fans, Matthew, and that's just not how it works. Carl Dunn, the statue of Jay Johnson will have Lloyd in the background. I believe so as well. Let's see. How hot does this championship make Brian Kelly's golf cart seat?
Hot.
I will ask you this question, Lloyd, before we get to the Klatt conversation. And I guess this is something we can maybe get into more as the offseason rolls on. Do you think that a national championship in baseball by Jay Johnson heats up the head football coach's seat? Like, do you think that it can have
Only
that?
LSU.
Only LSU. And I think it's valid. Like, so you think that Jay winning another one puts more pressure on Kelly than he already had prior?
Well, because not only Kelly, but Woodward. Like, you can keep getting. What's the golden goose?
Yeah.
As much as people love LSU baseball, like when LSU football happens, that's what carries the water around here. And for Scott Woodward, like, you can win. Like, his seat was already somewhat hot for some reason. I'll never understand this conversation, but people around are saying, what has he done? And it's like only won, 5 national championships since he's been at LSU? Like, that's insane. He did it in gymnastics and baseball twice and women's college basketball. Like, Scott Woodward's not the problem. He's the solution.
Yes.
But everybody's going to point to, you get 10
one
years,
higher.
$100 million to Brian Kelly, and you can't win a national championship. So, yeah, I do think that does warm the seat for Brian Kelly because everybody else is working out. What are you doing?
Yeah. No, I think.
And you've been given every resource available now.
Yeah, I mean, now that, like, that's the thing. The excuses are now gone.
He
like,
doesn't have
There are absolutely none.
And I've said it since they made, like, these, 17, 18
Yes.
transfer portal guys, and since they've kind of stumbled into this way of how we're going to do things, because that's what it feels like they did.
Right.
It was transfer portal, it was recruiting. It was not recruiting, it's transfer portal. It's, we'll pepper in the portal.
Well, from
now
that,
it's like, this is how you have to do it. You go all in on the portal.
Well, I think part of that, and what I've come to realize, is I think the Austin Thomas hire, like when Austin Thomas came back, that was kind of the, okay, we've been doing this wrong, and here's our strategy.
What do you mean we?
Forward. The program, and this is the strategy moving forward, and this is how it needs to go. And so I think that, yeah, look, this season already had an immense amount of pressure for Brian Kelly and LSU football because of the money and the roster and all of these things.
Took your money and my money.
Yeah, they're still getting my money.
That was a funny.
That was
we
terrible.
were in a bad timing.
It was terrible
And the
timing.
tickets that came through, like, I need to start collecting all these Clemson tickets.
If y'all don't, so well, I guess we'll break off real quick. We're sitting in the hotel room. The trip had gone haywire after the RV because we were trying to plan this, got a bad hotel
Great
room,
hotel.
all these things.
Oh, I loved it.
And we're trying to figure out money stuff.
Unbelievable.
Like, I was trying to get
taken a picture of that.
Trying to get
room.
my refund back from the hotel that we ended up not staying in. And while I'm working getting that refund, I applied for Clemson tickets in April.
Did you over there?
And it was going to be here usually what happens when you apply through TAF is they send you an email to make sure this card is good for the ticket money to be taken out of. No. We're not going to ask. You're going to be sitting on a hotel bed stressing about a refund, and you're going to see however many $1,000 taken from your account.
You got $1,000. Here's 2 more you got to worry about.
Well, the thing that I was worried about was like it didn't say where the money had come from at first. It was just like on my Capital One said this amount had been taken from my account, and I was like, time. What was that? What did I just lose?
What happened? Who took my money?
And so then, like, I open the app up, I look, and it says ticket office, and I call my aunt. I was like, did I get the tickets? She was like, I didn't get an email. I was like, I better have gotten the tickets.
I got an email.
I'm pretty sure I just paid for the tickets. And so
it was so funny because you were like both excited and also like, oh.
Well, and it's like I haven't even thought about football
we got Clemson
because
tickets.
it's been so baseball. I was like, oh wait,
and I paid for them.
I've just paid for Clemson tickets for 6 of them.
We're trying to win a national championship in baseball.
So then I'm texting. I need to offload 5 of these tickets. And so, there will be a Clemson trip. The Clemson trip
back
is
on the
happening.
box.
Back on the box. There will probably be 2 separate vehicles this time because I think there's a larger contingency coming to Clemson.
I'll be saving the party box again. They need me.
They do.
Jack's up.
Back to the conversation. I do believe that Jay Johnson's
11,
national championship adds another layer of pressure on,
whether warranted or not,
on football. And like you said, I think you're completely right on Scott Woodward. Like, as right as he got this baseball hire, and it is a home run, could not have gotten a better head coach. He will only be judged by football.
It's unfortunate.
He made an excellent. He got Kim Mulkey to come to LSU.
For as much as people seem to care about baseball, good Lord,
it's football.
Football is 10x.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And like I haven't really enthralled myself in football just yet because it's been baseball. And this baseball, and like this is new to me in a sense. Like 2023, I was in it. This one's just different because I've been in it,
literally,
and
dirt under my nails.
Yes, and then like I just haven't even shifted to football yet, and I think like SEC Media Days get here, my mindset's going to be August 30th.
Covering football is just not as much fun.
No, well, because it's a lot more stressful. Because it means a little bit more.
Ugh.
But listen to Joel Klatt.
I don't want to.
Let's hear what he has to say.
Week 11, November 8th, LSU at Alabama. You're talking about a monster game with playoff implications. I don't know if the loser of this game can get over that and still get into the playoffs. Maybe they can, but I don't know if they can. This is not like an Alabama-Georgia game, where I'm like, okay, listen, winner's going to go to the SEC championship game. This game, LSU-Alabama, feels a lot more like you got to win it to go to the playoff. Now, we'll see what happens in some of those weeks prior, but this one could be that type of implication. Battle for maybe the 3-4 spot in the SEC, presumably that playoff berth. You've got, again, the implications that I talked about for LSU earlier and Brian Kelly needing to take the step forward. And then certainly for Kalen DeBoer, you can't expect that he's going to get a ton of runway from the faithful at Alabama. The way things finished last year was not, quote, Alabama. And so he's got tough test at Georgia, but you got to beat LSU at home. These are kind of the standards that they've set for themselves there with Alabama, and he's going to have that chance there week 11, November 8th.
Hot take. What a blazing hot take from Joel Klatt.
What a waste of breath.
That LSU and Alabama, it's gonna be a big football game that has some implications. Like it hasn't been for the last 20 years.
We're in a coma for the last 15 years?
Like, what are we talking about? It's been LSU, Alabama since 2007.
ESPN made a whole magazine about it.
Like, and don't get me wrong. I also think it's stupid to be talking about that when there's a game that happens,
week 1.
10 weeks prior to that one that has a lot more implications for Brian Kelly and LSU.
Because depending on how that one goes, then Joel Klatt's take is somewhat relevant. But that has always been the case.
This take on both sides for Bama and LSU, there are 9 games that are getting played before this week. LSU and Alabama, one of them, they can both be undefeated, and one of them lose that game. and they both still end up in the playoff. So why are we even having the conversation when the game we should be talking about is, guess when? August 30th, LSU versus Clemson in South Carolina.
2 months.
2 months away. 2 months and 3 days away from LSU at Clemson. Because, look, that's the one that's got the implications. Don't get me wrong. LSU and Alabama, it has its own monster, and it's going to carry weight at that point in the season.
Oh, yeah, but that's, yeah.
But the one that's got the implications right now for Brian Kelly and LSU is the fact that he has not won a first game. He has not won a season opener at LSU. Will LSU versus Alabama
dang tired of it
have implications for both sides in Week 11? Yeah, it has for 20 years. You've had 2 games of the century. And guess who the 2 teams were in those
3
games? Yeah, 3. 2011, 2019, and 2022. And there were playoff.
2012.
Shut up. We don't talk about that one. We're talking about the
Didn't
3 that
happen.
LSU won. And 11, 19, and 2022. Like, that's what the conversation shouldn't be about Week 11. And don't get me wrong.
We'll get there.
When we get to Week 11,
It'll be the conversation.
the conversation will be happening. Like, I will be up in arms in Week 11. But there's a lot of football that has to happen before that. And it's not – that game could very well not be a win and get in the playoff. Or lose and you're out.
Well, it sounds like Joel Klatt assumes LSU is going to lose to Clemson.
And I can't say that he's wrong for that.
No.
But
But he should have probably threw that in there.
Yeah, like if LSU loses to Clemson and loses to Bama, they're still in.
Yeah.
I would take that would be 10-2 with wins over South Carolina, Florida,
Ole Miss.
Texas A&M, Ole Miss. Go down the list. Those are quality wins. You would have only lost one SEC game, so you could be in the SEC championship. A win over Oklahoma, like you could lose both of those games and be fine. Please don't win every single game. Win them all.
Also,
Matthew Conkle, yo, I'm nervous as F now. LOL. Happy Friday. Welcome to the off season, my friend. It is time.
And Joel, real quick, they play at Bama this year.
Like,
appreciate you, buddy.
And so, great content. And look,
he started petering out so fast.
Realistically, like, let's look at the schedule for both teams. LSU football schedule.
It's like you need to look that up.
And Alabama football. I just want to have it in front of my eyes to make sure that I'm being as thorough as I can be. Before LSU gets to Alabama, they have some very tough football games. They have to beat Clemson at Clemson. They've got Florida at home.
Quickly.
They've got to go to Oxford. They've got South Carolina.
They haven't won since 2019.
At home. They've got Texas A&M at home. Like those, LSU could have 2 or 3 losses before Bama. Now, if LSU has 3 losses before November, brother, it's a freaking fire.
It'll be just Tingle.
No, it'll be
just be
nothing.
It'll be just
gone.
no.
It'll be no and no.
Tingle and no.
No.
Actually, I'll do the show because
Yeah, no, I know. I know.
I don't want it to happen.
But yeah, like LSU could have 3 losses before that. Like they could have 4. Now, that's going completely haywire. I think realistically, LSU could possibly have 2 losses before then. And I think that's what Joel is banking on, is that LSU loses to Clemson and Ole Miss or South Carolina before then. And if LSU has 2 losses before they get to Alabama, yes, that would be a lose and you're out. Alabama, on the other hand, before they play LSU, they've got Florida State, Wisconsin, Georgia, Vandy, Mizzou, Tennessee, South Carolina. So I'm assuming in Joel's mind, he's got LSU losing to Clemson and Ole Miss, and he's got Alabama losing to Georgia and South Carolina. And so if LSU and Alabama both go into that game with 2 losses, then yeah. Then it would be a win or you're out. But we've got a long time before we get there. And just looking at these 2 schedules, a whole lot of good football before you get to November 8th, which is the Mac Daddy of them all. But you've got time to get there. And I think when you look at LSU's schedule, August 30th is as big as it gets. LSU versus Clemson. Randy Jones, Noah, is it possible for Tingle & Co. to get media passes to all games? Yeah, we can get credentialed. Sabion Green, should be no reason to lose to Bama with a first-year starting quarterback, in my opinion. I agree. We'll get to that when we get towards November, obviously. But we will be making the trip to Clemson. I am actually currently working on the trip vlog video from Omaha, and it's about 2 hours of video that I'm having to cut down and find a way to make it not 2 hours long.
And there's probably some content in there
that I need to cut out and not put on the interwebs. Yeah, should never be shared. Matthew Congle, Tingle & Co. tailgate. We'll see what we can do. We'll have some fun stuff in the works. But really, what we want from you guys, some suggestions on content y'all want over the summer during the off season. If y'all have any ideas, some things y'all would want to see from us, whether it is LSU
we have one in the can.
Or not. We do.
That needs to be edited also.
It needs to be found. I don't know where that's at. I'm going to need to find it and then edit it.
Might have to take a stroll.
Might have to. A 30, 45-minute vlog would go hard probably. I'm hoping to get it down to 30 minutes. I think I can get it down to 30 minutes. Because it would be an entertaining 30 minutes with a good bit of baseball content as well. Like in the vlog, there is clips from practices and games and all of the things involved. So we'll have all of it ready.
Well, and if you don't have that ready, we always have this, which is one of our other superstars got his own vlog up and rolling.
I'm
made
nervous.
by a super fan.
I hate this, but I will do it.
Look how much he cares about LSU baseball.
We live on Facebook? Hold on, folks. We live on X too? We live? Let's go!
That's the
New Orleans Saints will be 11-6. Give me a minute.
We're gonna get flagged for that song, but
that's why I tried to cut
that
it.
That is worth it. Play just the clip of you trying to hold his hand. Just that clip.
What are you trying to?
You know what I mean. Just this part right here.
Give me that. The pinky. It's so flirty.
Then it's God.
It's like we're at the movies.
Oh my gosh, dude. Justin Babin Jr.
We have got a squad.
Man, do we have a team. But,
and if there's more content you want that came from, there's a little sneak peek of the vlog of what happened.
What video is this?
Because speaking of fingers,
oh,
I'm going to keep the audio out because you say something.
We're just doing past
A little
sets.
pass set.
Run it back. I want to watch that first one again. I was proud of that first one.
Let's go.
Rep 2. Ready? Ah!
Let me run block. Those are pass block sets.
Run ball?
Yeah.
Press up!
Put him in the pod.
Oh shit, my like, brother.
Shit, my pinky.
It popped right out. Excuse my French. I do not speak like that often. But it popped right out of socket. Like, I looked at it. No, like, I got to get up to the camera so they can get a real representation of what my pinky looked like. First off, it is still extremely swollen.
Oh, God.
It's still not in good shape. It's still kind of off, it's still kind of sideways.
Yeah, that's permanent, brother.
Yeah. I haven't gone to a doctor yet.
No, there's nothing they can do.
But it was fully, I was like, oh, pop. Now, I don't know if I popped it back in right or not, but I at least, I straightened it out, and, I don't curse, Sabrion, but my pinky was dislocated and it scared me. Dude, it was bad.
There's another video. I've got more content on my phone than I realized.
Yeah.
I was going through it last night. And, buddy, it's you and Christian sitting on the bus. And I was like, Christian's kind of 2-0 against you. You broke your finger and then dislocated your pinky.
No, he dislocated. You watched the clip of the dislocated pinky. He didn't win. I shoved him into the toilet.
You may have won the battle, but he has won the war, sir.
And I beat you with a dislocated pinky.
Because I was being quit wiggling. No, Noah put me in the absolute closet. I was close to not getting harmed.
Lloyd was what?
I was close to not getting harmed.
Oh,
I got harmed. There's no quitting this kid.
No.
You almost made me black out.
Well, you were getting very confident and cocky because you were beating up on Christian, and then you started to pick a fight with me, and I was like, "Why are you doing this?"
Let's see. Noah's whatever his weight is, he's all of it. Good Lord. That was humbling.
But I tell
I'm
you
an
what,
old man.
Huh?
I'm an old man. You beat up a senior citizen.
I did. Let's connect athletically.
Okay.
And move
that
on.
was fun though.
That was.
And I'll say
Check
it
that
again.
out. Shout out to Paulie Z,
Oh, that was awesome.
our guy.
Beat us here.
Met us here. Yeah,
Beat us here.
Beat us here. Yeah, it's true. Check that out, man. God, it's as good as it gets.
Is that Cookie?
It doesn't say who wrote it.
Well, I hope they should do that.
Page 1B. Oh, that is awesome.
Oh, sex.
Check that out.
But
This is Koki.
that's awesome.
Undisputed.
Koki wrote that with a cramp.
To call anything a dynasty requires a certain level of consistent championship excellence. The Boston Celtics in the 60s, New York Yankees in the 90s, and UConn women's basketball in the 2010s certainly fit the description. LSU winning 5 national championships in 10 years under Skip Bertman definitely qualifies. Coach Jay Johnson's Tigers aren't quite there yet, but what LSU accomplished Sunday afternoon at Charles Schwab Field was remarkable nevertheless, and potentially the beginning of another baseball dynasty in Baton Rouge.
Do you think he was nervous writing it like this?
No. He was in his bag.
Yes.
Like when Christian ran up there after the Arkansas game, Koki was sitting a couple chairs down from me. I love Koki. He is the best. As much as we give John Eads his flowers, Koki deserves his flowers as well. Eads and Koki were at every game, every presser, everything for LSU baseball.
Caught a cramp.
And Koki was up there. Christian runs back up after that Arkansas walk-off and is like trying to talk to Koki, and Koki's just like writing his article.
Gamer, there's a deadline.
I was like, hey, Christian, stop talking to him.
He's working.
He's working. Christian's like, Koki, did you see that? Koki, did you? And I'm like, Christian, stop.
We were going to the pressers, or like the practice. He goes, oh, fuck yeah, Koki's here. It's like, yeah, dude, he comes to everything.
Hasn't missed anything.
Oh, hell yeah, Koki's here. Do love Koki, though. He's funny.
The best.
Funnier than you think.
He's the best.
Let's see if he can connect athletically one day.
Koki would probably help us out a lot.
Let's see if we need him. Phone a friend?
I don't have Koki's number.
Me either.
Have his signature, though. Autograph.
Christian does.
He does. He kept it. He pulled it out in the airport. Let's see. We have...
Crease, face off. See, this is where it gets you because now the ground ball is in here for something also.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what ground ball would be. I have no idea.
Cradling.
I would assume emblem, badge, logo, and crest are all the same thing. You didn't believe in me?
No, I just if it goes if that one's not right, then we're in a real situation here.
Yeah, no, you're right. Face off,
Crease.
ground ball, cradling.
That's what I agree. Oh, see it.
Yep.
Not what I was thinking,
Nope.
but glad it works out.
Yep, it worked. And then we've got
No.
Oh. Jackson State, Colorado, Cowboys, Yankees.
Yep, that would be Deion Sanders. Prime time. There we go, boys. Another one for the books.
God, that was not an easy one, and we worked that one.
Yeah, we're buzzing.
We still got it.
We never
still
lost
got
it. Always got it.
Always got it.
Night on the black whenever you need it. Chase Shores. Stephen Malam.
You know what Chase Shores reminds me of? like
Roger, the
Thunder.
Rocket.
Yeah, no, Thunder.
Hey,
Russell
Rocket.
Westbrook.
Yeah.
Where it's like that high, dude. It's like, oh my gosh, the feelings that I'm feeling.
Yeah, because
then there's some rough patches. Like there's some
there's like you're too athletic for your own good.
Like when Russ will start we'll start jacking up 3-pointers, or like Chase loses his control a little bit. Like it'll get rocky.
First pitch that he threw to the backstop, like oh no.
But then when it's 101 paint, or it's Russell Westbrook
Yeah!
fast break, like brother, it doesn't get any better than that.
There's no better crowd pops maybe than old school Thunder. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook.
Oh my gosh. They have one that's like a legendary crowd pop. I gotta find it. I gotta listen to it.
Dude, and I also rewatched the ejection last night.
Which is brother.
Dude, the 2 feet in the air is the funniest visual I've ever seen. And then you talk about crowd pops, like LSU fans go nuts.
Bro, the LSU chants, I will contend.
They're awesome.
Those LSU chants were the loudest of the entire week.
He ran out that dugout with that energy. I go, see ya.
Oh, here it is. Dude.
Is that a block transition dunk?
Yes.
He's terrifying.
This was... Oh. Wi-Fi. That place is roaring.
It's one of the best fan bases in all of sports.
Roaring, dude. It was a blocka. It wasn't a blocka. Into
Michael.
A rebound, kick up to Westbrook, one hand, right hand up. God, I love a crowd pop. Basketball has the best.
It's why you watch.
Basketball has the best crowd pops of like, it could be dead silent and then just explosion. What are you about to pull up over there? You're working
the
on
crowd
something.
pop from Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, that one was a special one. I'm telling you, that was the loudest the LSU chants were. After that.
Dude, his presser after is one of the...
Dude, don't get me... You're going to piss me off.
He pisses me.
You're going to
God,
piss me off.
I don't care anymore, but he holds a special place in my heart that nobody should want to be a part of.
Dude.
And there's somebody else that might join him. It just depends on how everything goes.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple people there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I know a handful. I could throw their names out.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be wrong. And I would not deny. People know how I feel.
Yeah, no, that post-game presser, dude.
It's not my fault he doesn't have athleticism.
Like, come on, man.
And
you were thrown out before that.
And he almost wins you over Like I like watched it objectively because I took the emotion out because it's over.
Of course.
And he like starts talking about like Coastal Carolina and what their mantra is, like own it and all of that. And then he immediately goes back to.
He immediately stops owning it.
Yeah.
Just own it.
Everything you're saying, you're not doing.
Own it. Like, say I should have been under control and stopped myself. You blatantly said you
know where you are.
You saw and heard the warning. And when you
I
responded
heard,
to
there's 25,000.
When you responded to the second warning by saying, because you missed 3 calls.
That's
what umpire in any level of baseball
Jay
is
got
not
Jay
kick
got
you out.
tossed for saying you flinched. Not going, that's 3, motherfucker.
Like, come on, dude. You missed 3 calls. Like, buddy.
See ya. Run ya.
Later.
Like, what do you think to that? Mikey totally disagrees with me on this because we had this conversation off air where...
Well, the first inning,
I get it. I do.
Yes.
He also has to know that.
He has to control himself.
He's that...
You don't think Jay wanted to explode during a 1-0 ball game when Daniel Dickinson gets called out because a ball hit him in the arm?
That's a ball.
What did Jay Johnson do?
Nothing.
Stayed under control, talked about it after the game, and talked about the reason he didn't pop off was because he knew he had to stay under control.
That's the difference between winning and losing. The inches are all around.
That's the difference between the coach of the year and a guy that just got the award because they won 50 games.
And 25.
Don't get me wrong. What he did at Coastal Carolina is impressive. That is a real program. That is not some mid-major baseball program that went on a Cinderella run. That is a legitimate baseball program.
And that's where you can kind of get the attitude, but he couldn't. He's trying to have it both ways.
You can't.
You can't.
You can't.
And then to go on your tangent about what's they're saying? What was it?
Own it.
Own it. And he does the whole thing, and then he goes, I vaguely hear a warning about something or another, so I go out there and I say, well, you missed 3 calls. And it's like, buddy, you're doing exactly the opposite of owning it. You're blaming somebody else who had an all-time performance. Give him the Grammy.
Which is quite literally arguing balls or strikes.
You can't do it.
You can't do that. It's baseball, man.
Oh! Put it in the Louvre.
God,
that's 2.
But then when he
2 games.
When he said in the post game,
he gets something immediately. That's 2.
When he said in the post game that he got upset because a grown man shooed me.
Mm-hmm.
That is quite literally saying, I have an ego.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle a grown man shoot. Should the guy have shooed you? No. The umpires, are they always
his
right?
Job.
No.
It doesn't. Yes, they are.
I mean, in a sense.
Yeah,
but umpires are still human. I'm saying the shooing is not right. You shouldn't shoo somebody. But if you're the coach, you should be enough of a man.
You should have been shooed before.
To deal with it and just suck it up. You got shooed.
You get the first
I'm sorry. Get shooed. Coach your team in the national championship game.
And get pissed off about being shooed.
Or get pissed off about being shooed and charge at the guy and keep commenting back at him and get yourself suspended for 3 games.
And get to watch from the fucking dugout. Not the dugout. What? The locker room.
Put it on Matthew Conkle put it on a t-shirt. A grown man shooed me. Like, come on. Like, it really was, to me, listening to that presser.
No, the
as
presser
much
is
as he
awful.
was trying to come off like he was owning it, which I don't understand why he thought he was owning it in that presser.
No, it tells you everything about him.
It was just oozing pride and ego. Like, oozing pride of, I can't be shooed. You ejected me because of you can't stand on 2 feet. Like, come on, dude. Are you serious?
He wanted to fight.
Yeah, he was trying to publicly embarrass that umpire.
Who got publicly embarrassed.
Who already got embarrassed because his feet were in the air. He was in the most vulnerable position any man could ever be in.
Unless you like it.
And you were trying to, like, come on, dude.
The most embarrassing position. Like, I've never felt less safe.
No, that is the most
vulnerable
position you can be in, is on your back with your feet in the air. Like, I can't stop anything from happening right now. But then Coastal Carolina put out this statement Let's watch this one more time.
Vulnerable.
Like, dude, cooked. Because if Schnall went to jump on him right now, nothing he can do. It's what's that? What? Like it's UFC, man. Like you can control. Like control. Coastal Carolina put out a statement.
That was also embarrassing.
The ejections of head and first off, terrible by the graphics department putting white text over this teal, and it's small white text. So I'm gonna hold it close to my eyes. The ejections of head coach Kevin Schnall and assistant coach Matt Schilling in the bottom of the first inning drastically altered the trajectory of a must-win game for our team. These decisions were made with an alarming level of haste, without an attempt at de-escalation, and deprived our student athletes of the leadership they have relied on throughout a historic postseason run. This is not about a single call. It's about a process and professionalism. In the biggest moment of the college baseball season, our program and its student athletes deserved better. The NCAA must reevaluate how it trains, assigns, and reviews umpires in championship environments. We expect consistency, communication, and the same level of excellence from our officials that we demand of our teams. Our players have represented this university, this conference, and college baseball with integrity and heart. They deserve the opportunity to compete for a national championship with their leaders, and were denied that opportunity today. Look, there are parts of this that I agree with. Do I think that those ejections drastically altered the trajectory of a must-win game? No. You still went out there and hit a solo home run off of Anthony Einson like an inning later. Your pitching coach was still there for your ace that had to get pulled out of the game in the fourth inning because LSU was swinging the bats. If anything, an ejection like that fires your team up in those sorts of issues. I do not believe that ejection drastically altered the direction of that baseball game.
If it would have been your pitcher getting tossed in the first, your starter,
completely different.
Completely different. That does alter the game.
I've seen LSU win with Jay Johnson ejected from baseball games.
And then come out to the dog pile.
Like it. And it's the first, the first inning to me is the only reason we're looking at this the way we are is because it happened so early in the game. If that happened,
he was getting tossed. If
that happened in the 5th, the 6th, or the 7th, the conversation is a whole lot different. It happened in the first inning.
And that's where you could start to blame the umpire if you want, that quick trigger. But
the alarming level of haste without an attempt of de-escalation.
And then
there was a lot of haste. Like, it was quick. Like, I remember in the moment. Like, in the video, it seems like it went on a little bit longer. In the moment, watching that game, I felt like it was like
that.
Like, I was in the press box, and it was like a audible gasp from everyone in there.
When you saw him leave the dugout, did you not have the same mindset that I did? It was like, he's about to get tossed.
Yeah. Well,
like, there was no way he was going to be able to restrain himself, control himself.
And as much as the first inning applies to the umpire, it applies to you too,
exactly.
Coach. It's the
can't
first
have it both
inning
ways.
of the baseball game. Control yourself. Matthew Conkle, if you are arguing balls and strikes that hard in the first inning,
you're getting tossed.
You're looking for a fight.
Yeah,
like that. He had some chip on his shoulder that he was upset about in a 0-0 ball game
10
in the
pitches
bottom
in.
of the first.
You're at 10 pitches.
Now look, David Reed makes a really good point. Do I think that altered the trajectory of the game? No. But like David Reed says, when he got kicked out, there was no way in hell LSU was going to get fired up about that today.
Oh, dude, I was watching it again yesterday, and it just made me laugh. And the reason that we even did this is because of this. Not this. This is also phenomenal.
Down goes an umpire who would do what happened at the end of the top of the first with the third base coach for
It's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, like, it goes both ways, fellas. Like, did the umpires maybe act a little too fast? Possibly. You should not be that fired up in the first inning of a 0-0 ball game. You should be able to control yourself as adults. You should be able to control yourself as leaders of a program. You should be control yourself that early in the game. Why are you that fired up?
That's what Cockle says is perfect. Like 10 pitches in and saying you missed 3 calls is crazy.
Let's have some self-control.
He doesn't.
You know? Like,
fraud.
Coach of the year.
Yeah, not mine.
Not mine, brother. Coach of the year was in the other dugout, chilling, holding up a trophy after. Second one in 3 years.
Wet.
Matthew Conk, we are 3 batters into the game, and you are saying there were already 3 missed calls. Seemed like Coach was panicking that his team's storyline was about to come crashing down.
That was Jay.
Chilling. Laughing at that guy.
Coach Justin Babin.
Not a whole lot. Not worried about the Tigers.
See ya.
We're worried about our head coach staying sane and not beating us.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a crazy man. He's a crazy person.
He's a crazy person. Feel bad for whatever happens.
Schedule the Coastal Carolina series next season. In Alec Box.
Come to the box. But you might not leave.
In Alec Box. Brother, you're not getting out. What was Bobby Hebert saying after the
lock the gates.
Call? Don't let him leave the airport. Lock the doors. That's Alec Box, buddy. Welcome. We appreciate you guys here on this Friday morning. We will be back on Monday. I will be out of town the latter
big
part
vacation
of next
guy.
week. I will be. This vacation was planned much before we said we were going to Omaha. My mom was like, "Yeah, I know you told me about it, but I forgot. I have to watch your dog again." I was like, "Yeah." I will be out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from the studio. I'll be bringing microphone, webcam, all of that stuff to the beach with me to do the show live. But I will still be here Monday and Tuesday, and I'm getting some guests lined up for Monday and Tuesday of next week to have a fun start of the week, start of the off season here. Appreciate you guys. We will be back Monday morning, 7 to 9. Adios.
We'll save that, Conkle. We'll save the Dabo.
I can't watch that right now.
Hickory dickory dog.
No.
Y'all enjoy the weekend. Because we're off the clock.
Come on now.